Okay, let's unpack this. Today, we're doing a deep dive into some really fascinating source material.
Yeah, it's quite a mix. We're looking at this story about Zelda, who's a witch, a really powerful one, but she's trying not to be.
Sworn off magic, basically. And then there's Peter, vampire,
Hmm.
total amnesia.
Right. And somehow these two end up on this chaotic road trip, unraveling this, well, pretty surprising mystery together.
And if you're trying to picture how that all fits, the supernatural history, the yoga studio in California, the deep emotional stuff.
The book reviews actually nail the tone perfectly. It's this blend of high comedy and really intense emotional stakes.
We saw one that called it the hottest about tax law, which is quite something.
And another said it was the funniest. Make me horny for a man in a fuzzy suit. So, that gives you an idea.
That definitely sets the stage. So our mission today is to follow these breadcrumbs, see how these two very chaotic immortals get thrown together.
Yeah, on this completely accidental, high-stakes journey across the country to figure out Peter's past and how it connects to Zelda centuries later.
Okay, let's start with Zelda. Griselda Watson, actually. Born around 1625.
That's her. And historically, she's known as Griselda the Terrible. Apparently, she had a thing for arson back in the day.
A thing for arson is putting it mildly, I gather. But now...
Now she's all about peace and quiet, runs yoga magic in coastal California with her human friends, Lindsay and Becky, trying to be normal.
But the core issue is she can't really be normal, right? The magic's too fundamental.
Exactly. He's committed to this magic-free idea, but the sources say if she doesn't use some power, she gets physically unwell. Jittery, shaky hands.
Like a pressure building up.
Totally. And it leaks out. Minor disasters, but they're escalating. There was a greeting card display that caught fire.
Whoops.
And then she missed her nightly candle lighting ritual, just this tiny thing she does to stay balanced, and ended up charring her bedroom curtains.
So it's like trying to cap a volcano. It's got to go somewhere.
That's a good way to put it. And this whole attempt at normalcy only started about 10 years ago, after a really big mess near Chicago.
Ah, yes, the infamous Chicago incident.
Involved a windstorm she conjured, fire eaters, a rec center. People got hurt. And apparently her friend was dressed as Timothy Chalamet.
The Timothy Chalamet detail really sells the chaos, doesn't it? So that was her rock bottom.
Seems like it. After that, she faked her own death, fiery car crash. Very dramatic to leave Griselda the Terrible behind.
She needed boundaries, basically. Control the chaos.
Yeah, the sources quote her thinking, "When you think you're going to live forever, the boundaries between should and should not get dangerously blurred."
And just when she thinks she's got some boundaries, enter Peter.
Enter Peter, ridiculously handsome vampire, shows up out of nowhere.
Midwest accent, moves super fast, and yeah, the amnesia. Remembers nothing except waking up on the floor of an empty bank.
And he's drawn to Zelda's studio almost immediately. He sees vulnerable too, admits he gets overheated easily, which is, classic vampire.
Yeah. And the proof of amnesia comes from his own journal.
Yep, monogrammed P.E. Peter Elliott. He finds it in his bag but has no memory of writing it.
Okay, so how do they end up on a road trip?
Peter starts getting these mysterious notes. Signed J.R., demanding he go to Blossomtown, Indiana. Threats involved.
And JR will find him if he doesn't go.
Okay, so Peter needs to go. And Zelda, well, she needs to get out of town too. After the curtain incident, she needs somewhere safe to figure out her magic situation.
Plus, Peter apparently hadn't driven in decades. Convenient.
Very. So she agrees to drive. It's the perfect excuse for her to experiment, really test her limits away from Redwoodsville.
And this is where it gets really interesting, you mentioned.
Oh, yeah. She starts small, like soundproofing cheap motel rooms. Necessary stuff.
But then it escalates.
Massively. The sources describe this incredible scene where, after missing the candle ritual again, the pressure is just hot and scalding.
So what does she do?
She goes into the motel bathroom and manipulates the bathwater, braids it into 3 separate shimmering streams. Just pure energy release.
Wow, so the power isn't gone, it's just building and changing.
Exactly. That braiding shows immense control, but only when she's letting out huge amounts of energy. It's not sustainable suppression.
Okay, so they're on the road. Zelda secretly doing major magic in motel bathrooms. Where does Peter's journal lead them first?
The clues are vague, pointing towards Indiana. But the journey itself is, well, it's Americana gone weird.
Like
Big Earl's Singing Chicken Emporium in Nevada.
singing chickens, okay.
No, don't ask. Then a bowling alley in Wyoming. Pretty random stops.
And Peter's memory? Still blank.
Mostly, He doesn't remember the places specifically, but he gets these intense feelings, like feeling really aggressive or angry, where he had apparently been before.
So the emotional residue is there, just not the context.
Exactly. He knows he was someone intense, probably dangerous, but he can't connect to it.
But his skills are still there. You mentioned the flat tire.
Oh yeah. Changes a flat like a pro. Knows tools. Zelda wonders if he was maybe a traveling architect or something military.
Hold on the amnesia. If it wiped his identity, his name, why does he still have the muscle memory for complex tasks like fixing a car?
The sources don't give a, medical reason, but it feels very much like a magical or deep psychological split.
How so?
The skills he keeps are all functional, efficient, protective, almost cold. They're totally separate from the emotional flashes he gets, the anger, the aggression.
So the operative part of him is still working even if the person has no clue.
That's how it reads, which makes his relationship with Zelda even more interesting, because that functional side becomes fiercely protective of her.
Right. You mentioned the scraped knee incident.
Yeah, she gets a minor scrape at a truck stop, and his reaction is immediate, almost violent protectiveness. He later tells her, "I smelled blood. You were hurt. I don't like the idea of you being hurt."
Intense. But that protective vibe clashes with what happens at the bowling alley, right?
Big time. They're often mistaken for a couple. They even pretend it's their 6-month anniversary at the bowling alley for fun.
And then the manager bursts their bubble.
Totally. The manager, Jonathan, recognizes Peter. Says he looks exactly like this asshole who was there 6 months prior.
An asshole who was specifically described as
As a hired traveler. Someone who wouldn't have a girlfriend.
Oof. That's the first real crack in Peter's innocent amnesiac story.
Huge crack. If he was known as an operative just 6 months ago, why the sudden amnesia now? Why did JR wait 6 months to send notes?
It suggests the amnesia isn't random. It's tied to whatever job he was on.
Precisely. It makes you rethink everything. Is his current state a consequence of that job?
Okay, this is getting good. So before the final destination in Indiana, they make a stop.
Quick stop in Chicago. To see Zelda's old friend Reggie. Another immortal, but he's gone domestic now. Lives with his accountant girlfriend, Amelia. Very normal.
And Reggie confirms Zelda's playing with fire, metaphorically speaking.
Literally and metaphorically, yes. He tells her she's suppressing too much power, that it's incredibly dangerous and bound to blow up in her face.
Which is perfect timing because Blossomtown, Indiana is the explosion.
It is. They get to the final address. A vacant warehouse. Inside, a card table, folding chairs, and the dead bodies of 3 humans.
Jeez. Okay. And who's waiting for them?
John Richardson, J.R., an arrogant vampire from this elitist group called The Collective.
And Zelda knows him.
Oh, she knows him.
Yeah.
She apparently targeted The Collective with some arson back in the 1800s. He's been holding a grudge against Griselda the Terrible ever since.
So he set this whole thing up for revenge.
Partly.
Yeah?
But mostly, he delivers the big reveal. The betrayal.
Which is?
Peter wasn't just some random guy with amnesia. Richardson hired him. Peter was a fang for hire, highly skilled.
Hired to do what?
To find Zelda, get close to her, and crack her magically warded safe back in Chicago. The Collective thought it held the elixir of life.
Oh, wow. So the whole road trip, the vulnerability, it was an act.
Well, here's the twist inside the twist. What was actually in the safe Peter was hired to crack?
Please tell me it wasn't the elixir of life.
Not even close. It was a whoopee cushion. Yes. A vintage prank Zelda and Reggie set up years ago. All that effort, all that magic, this elite vampire organization for a whoopee cushion.
That is peak Griselda the Terrible, actually. Amazing. Richardson must have been furious.
Livid at the prank, at Peter for presumably failing or taking too long.
So what happens to Peter when Richardson reveals all this? Does he remember?
The moment he sees Richardson, the memories flood back. It confirms everything. The bowling alley manager, the fang for hire thing, it was all true.
There's a but, isn't there?
There is. Because Peter doesn't hesitate. He immediately stakes Richardson. Kills him to protect Zelda.
Whoa. So the job was real, the initial setup was real, but his feelings for Zelda now, they're also real. Real enough to override his mission.
Exactly. The amnesia might have been triggered by the job, maybe trauma from it, but the connection he formed with Zelda on the road was genuine. He chose her.
Okay, heroic choice, but Zelda must be devastated. Betrayed.
Absolutely furious. She drives off, leaves him there, gets the fanciest hotel room in Indiana she can find. Just pure rage and hurt. She calls Reggie, confirms the whole whippy cushion story.
So how do they come back from that? Peter literally got hired to rob her.
Peter fights for her. Hard. He knows how badly he messed up, even if the amnesia part wasn't exactly his fault.
How does he try to fix it?
It starts badly. He tries baking, sends her these homemade cookies that sound truly awful.
How awful.
The recipe described is basically a lot of flour, some sugar, at least a cup of other powders.
Oh my God. Other powders. That's a commitment, I guess.
Yeah.
Inept, possibly dangerous commitment.
It's the thought that counts.
Yeah.
Maybe. He also goes back to California and fixes the leak in her studio roof. At night, obviously.
A practical gesture.
Yeah, and during that encounter, he lays it all out, apologizes profusely, says everything he felt and said on the trip was real. He wants to earn back her trust, wants to always take care of her.
And does she buy it?
It leads to this incredibly intense moment of reconciliation, physically intense. During intimacy, he bites her neck, which is a vampire necessity for him, right? A need.
Okay.
But because Zelda's magic is so powerful and maybe less suppressed now, it interacts with the bite. It causes her this overwhelming ecstasy, explodes her senses into infinite points of brilliant light.
Whoa. So his vampirism and her magic kind of synced up in a really dramatic way.
It seems like it, like the dangerous parts of both of them finally found a way to connect productively, not destructively, sharing the chaos.
Okay. So fast forward. What's the new normal?
2 weeks later, things are weirdly stable. They're prepping for a goat yoga event at the studio.
Goat yoga? Of course.
Peter's there, helping wrangle goats, fully partnered up. He admits his initial reason for being there wasn't just professional, it became deeply personal.
And Zelda, has she fully forgiven him?
It seems so. She gives him a gift, a vacant loft in Redwoodsville.
A place to live?
More than that. It's presented as his new studio.
He has a legitimate business now. What does an ex-Fang for hire do legitimately?
He's still described as a skilled Fang for hire. But now he specializes in solving unsolvable riddles, disabling alarm systems, fixing irreparably broken pocket watches.
And presumably.
And yes, crack uncrackable safes, but now with a moral compass. For good, not for dodgy vampire collectives.
So wrapping this up, what does this deep dive really show us?
It shows how these past identities, Griselda the Terrible, the arsonist witch, and Peter, the amnesiac hitman, couldn't really be escaped.
They collided with who they were trying to be, now the yoga teacher, the lost soul.
Exactly. And that collision, that chaos, didn't destroy them. It actually forged this incredibly strong, unexpected love story, built on loyalty, protection.
And maybe shared trauma and goat yoga.
Definitely those two. The key takeaway, especially for these supernatural beings, seems to be about vulnerability. It wasn't despite their messy, chaotic natures that they connected. It was because of them.
His control, her suppression. They somehow balanced each other out. He was looking for a fake elixir and found something real with her.
Beautifully put. He found something genuinely life-changing.
Okay, so Peter has this new legit business. Fixing things, solving puzzles, cracking safes for the right reasons. He's got the skills. Zelda has immense power.
They're quite the team.
So here's a final thought to leave you with. Given Peter's past expertise in bypassing security and Zelda's, well, everything, what kind of security system could this highly skilled, magically boosted, immortal couple possibly need or even invent to protect the very strange, very wonderful life they've finally built together?
That is a great question. What does security look like for them now? Something to ponder.